This cold email strategy right here is the most simple, but also most effective strategy that I think I've ever used. And I say that because it's consistently the highest performer. It gets the most positive replies. It's booked thousands of meetings for both my own business and the hundreds of agencies that I do this for. Now, let me walk you through it every single step of the way so you can just copy it. All right, so first I'm going to explain why 90% of people fail with cold email, and then I'm going to walk through the 4 simple steps that this strategy entails. Most people fail with cold email because they make the wrong offers to the wrong people. See, if you're in a good relationship and I sent you an email right now and I said, hey, do you want me to help you get back into that relationship? You'd probably ignore it, mark it as spam, and delete my email. However, if your girlfriend or boyfriend dumped you and then tomorrow I emailed you that same thing, well, you would at least respond to me because you would be in a position where you have a very specific and relevant pain, and I would have made to you a highly relevant offer to solve that pain. Now, the thing is what 90% or more of agency owners do when it comes to their cold email is they take their generic offer, like I'll help you get 30 appointments in 30 days, or I'll help you run Facebook ads, or whatever the case may be, and then they blast it out to anybody that they can find in their niche. But only a very small percentage of them would actually be struggling with that problem. So immediately right off the bat, your list of 100 people goes down to a list of maybe only 10. And then of that list of 10, depending on how your copy is, depending on how good your social proof is, depending on how good your email is, making sure that you're in spam, and all the other things that go into sending cold email, you maybe then might only get 1 to 2 responses. And that's why you see average response rates of just 1 to 2% when people are writing cold emails. Now, once we discovered this problem, we created a 4-step simple solution to solve this problem, which is the reason why for both my company and all the companies that we do this for, we're able to flood inboxes with positive replies and book as many meetings as these companies can possibly handle. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually going to start with list segregation. Now, as I talked about earlier, one of the main problems that people have with their cold email is they make the same offer to the entire industry. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll typically break down an industry into a few different revenue or employee size benchmarks. So for example, let's take the gym space, right? In the beginning, you have the gym owners that aren't making any money and they're just trying to start their gym. They have a gym, they have it set up, but they're yet to actually get any members, or maybe they only have a few. Then you have gyms that are maybe doing between $0 and $100,000 per year. Then you have gyms doing between $100 and $1 million per year. Then you have gyms doing between $1 and $3 million per year. And then the last, like the really big gyms, you got doing between $3 and $10 million a year. Now, instead of just throwing all those into one list, the first thing that we will do is we will create a list of just gyms getting started, a list of just gyms doing 100K a year, a list of just gyms doing $1 million a year, $3 million a year, $10 million a year, and so on. So now that we have the segregated list, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use this following ChatGPT prompt to identify the most painful and conscious problems inside of their business. Here it is. My current skills are, and then insert your skills. They could be Facebook ads, they could be Google ads, whatever the case may be for your niche. So that could be gyms, med spas, whatever that case may be. Can you give me the 5 most painful problems that these companies experience at revenue levels? So that could be at $0 a month, at 100K a month, at $1 million, at 3 million, or it could be number of employees. When they have 0 to 5 employees, 10 employees, etc. Right? In relation to insert the skill, in relation to getting clients, in relation to whatever the skill is or the problem that you help solve. Now, next part of the prompt. Make sure the problems are things that they consciously think about every single day. I'm not looking for the root problem, but the painful problem that they experience daily, so long as it can be solved with my skill. Now, that second part of the prompt is very important. For example, if you look at any of the advertising that we do here for my company at Catalyst Holdings, a lot of it is going to talk about lack of getting qualified leads, lack of getting enough sales calls, lack of closing those calls, and all that kind of stuff. Now, the thing is, when we begin working with one of our clients, the biggest lever that we pull that literally solves about 80% of their problems in just the first 7 days upon working with us is when I personally remake their offer for them. Because so many of the problems that are being caused in our clients' businesses are due to them having a weak offer. But the thing is the reason that I don't talk about how I will remake their offer for them in our marketing is because they don't know that that's what the problem actually is until they begin working with us. They just experience the symptoms of unqualified leads, or not enough sales calls, or sales calls not showing, or sales calls not closing, or whatever the case may be. And so the thing is, and that ties back into this prompt, is that the root solution to that might be something completely different, but most of the time they're not even solution aware, they're just problem aware. And so that is what we want to hit on in our front end marketing. And so once we have pasted that prompt into ChatGPT, we're going to get these painful problems that people are experiencing at this certain size of their business. Now, for each one of the lists that we have, we want to write down what these problems are. Now, for example, if you're at 0, it might be, I don't know how to start my business. If you're at 100K a month, it's like, okay, I've got a few clients through referrals, but I don't know how to consistently get more clients. Or if you're at 1 million, I have a way to get clients. I have a few staff members, but like, I don't know how to streamline and I don't know how to scale this business. Okay. And then you do begin to scale it and you're at like $3 million a year and you're like, okay, I can handle this, but I'm doing everything myself. I don't know how to manage and build a team. I don't know how to get better staff. I don't know how to bring in people that aren't just working on the gym floor. And then if you're at like $10 million a year, it's like, okay, I need to learn how to completely remove myself, make this business run on autopilot so I can sell it and or just keep it as a cash cow. Right. But the thing is that as you can see at each individual stage as these gyms grow, they're going to be running into different problems that are going to be at the forefront of their mind. So those are some examples of answers that you might get when you run through this prompt. All right, so now step number 3. And step number 3 is to reposition your main offer or your skill to solve the most relevant and painful problem inside of each of these lists businesses. So what that would look like, right? Like, let's say you have your list of people that are just learning how to start their gym, right? And your skill is Facebook ads. Instead of just saying, hey, I'll help, Facebook ads, it's like you specifically reaching out to all of this list of gyms that are just learning how to get started. And you're like, hey, I'll help you launch your gym and I'll help you get your first 10 non-referral gym clients. Now, let's say next list, right? The next list is of the gyms that are in and around that low six-figure mark. In that case, the biggest problem that you have is like your gym's kind of half full. You just need more clients, right? I'll get you 30 clients in the next 30 days, right? And you can make an offer around that. Then you jump up to the next level of gyms. The biggest problem is that they don't know how to streamline. They don't know how to scale their gym. I'll help you completely automate your client acquisition and I'll even help you automate X, Y, and Z, right? Remember, we're taking our core offering and we're taking our core skills and we're repackaging it to solve the most painful and relevant problem of these gyms at each stage inside of their business along the overall growth trajectory that a gym would go through. Then you get to the 3 million. Hey, I'll help you place team members and you can use Facebook ads in order to do that. And then lastly, at $10 million, to help you remove yourself from the business. Now, if you don't know how to help a gym that's doing $10 million remove themselves from the business, like just don't target them. But if you do know, those are expanded offerings that you can run. So that was step 3. Now getting into the 4th and final step, which is how we actually want to structure and write this email copy. So when it comes to structuring and writing this email copy, it's super simple. We want to keep it super quick. We want to keep it easy to read. And like I said earlier, the reason that this works is similar to the breakup analogy that I gave you earlier. We are targeting people who we already know have a relevant pain because we've done the market research to figure out that gyms at this specific revenue range or number of employees are struggling with this painful problem. These are the daily problems that they experience. So with that, the simple copywriting framework that I like to use is, hey, insert their name, and then it's a painful question from the ChatGPT research, right? So if you figured out that, hey, their biggest problem is that like they just don't know how to start. Hey, are you feeling completely overwhelmed as you're trying to launch insert gym name, right? Hitting them with that painful question that you know based on the research that you did on company in your niche at that specific size. Then you switch to your custom offer that we made earlier based on the pain point, and then just like we did for a case study, right? So an example, if I was sending this out to gyms that were just getting started, I'll help you launch your gym and get your first 10 non-referral patients, just like we did for XYZ gym in your city. Then from there, just a simple call to action of mind if I send more info. And lastly, you can hit them with a PS and then your guarantee. If we don't, I will do X, right? And that can be whatever guarantee that you are offering. Now, one quick thing with the mind if I send more info, we actually tested this amongst 2 of our clients here at Catalyst. One client insisted that they said, no, I don't want to do the mind if I send more info. I want to only send jump on a call and I want to send my calendar link. He was very would not listen to us, just did that. We sent out his emails. He got 15 positive replies and he only booked 2 meetings. Okay. Now we did this for another client in a very similar niche, except we said, mind if I send more info, right? And then in that case, we actually spent about half the amount of emails, but they ended up getting over 50 positive replies replies and booking over 35 meetings. So the numbers were completely blown out of the water in comparison to having that immediate jump on a call with me right now versus mind if I send more info, and then either calling them or having a response that sends that more info and then sells the sales call from that response. Now, if you're going to actually use this strategy, you're obviously going to see a huge influx of clients. And of course, the most important thing to do once you get those clients is to actually get them results. But I know that most businesses don't really have a system in order to actually fulfill and get their clients results at scale. So click right here to head over to the next video where I'll show you exactly what I do to get my client results inside of my own 7-figure agency. And in this video, I literally just give away the 5-step system that I use that went from me getting 1 to 2 case studies per month to now getting 1 to 2 case studies every single day. And it's gotten to the point now where our sales process has literally just turned into us showing enough undeniable proof to make the person want to work with us at their own will. So that could help you. I'll see you over there.